You know what? It's funny, the number of celebrities we've heard in the news lately who have had financial problems.
They say Michael was $400 million in debt when he died.
That's a lot of dollars. Ed McMahon had troubles in the past. It's not that unusual anymore to hear of these stars having all sorts of financial problems. Well, Jim Haller from the bankruptcycompany.net joins us here on the website to chat. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great, John. How about you?
You know, I hear so many of these stories about the celebrities who have had issues in the past. Is that good that it shines light on the fact that it's not just really poor people who face these issues? It could be anybody.
That's right. I mean, bankruptcy is really kind of like catching a cold or having the flu. It affects people in all aspects of life, whether you're rich or you're poor, you're educated or you're uneducated. And it's something I get asked all the time. Who are the people that file bankruptcy with you? Are they, deadbeats? Are they down at the boat all the time? Or are they just crazy with their credit cards? And, most of the time it's people who have had layoffs or have had medical problems or divorce that just lands them in a financial pickle and they can't get out. And frankly, there's a lot of people that people know that have had financial problems or have had to file bankruptcy. And let me give you a few examples.
Okay.
You've heard of our president, Thomas Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he didn't file bankruptcy, but he was so broke at the time that when he passed away that his famous house, Monticello, was actually foreclosed upon and sold. And then it was bought 100 years later by the federal government. Talk about Frank Lloyd Wright, famous architect, had to file bankruptcy. Kim Basinger. We all know Kim Basinger, beautiful, blonde, wonderful actress.
Didn't she buy her own town? Wasn't that her downfall? She built and bought her own town in Colorado? That never works from what I found. Yeah, John Brownsville just went nowhere.
How about Radar O'Reilly? He filed bankruptcy.
Did he really?
Absolutely. Red Fox, Burt Reynolds, Francis Ford Coppola. Some people remember his Godfather movies. And then Mr. America, Walt Disney, filed for bankruptcy back in 1922. And actually, it's back in 2005, which is the most recent stats that I've seen, 1 out of every 60 American households filed bankruptcy. So it's quite possible that everybody listening to this radio program either knows someone or is related to someone who has filed bankruptcy. Now, you may not know that they filed bankruptcy because it's not the kind of thing people... nobody walks around with a I filed bankruptcy cap on their forehead, but a lot of people have filed, and most of the people that come in and see me are honest, hardworking people and have just fallen on hard times. So,
hey, Jim, one of the stories we did last week, which I thought was interesting, is the bulk of bankruptcies, I think the story went, were medical bankruptcies. People who the health insurance is now gone and they're really in trouble. Is that true? You see that a lot?
That's absolutely correct. There's been a couple of studies, both I think from Harvard Law School, that have come out with that. And it's not just the medical bills so much. The medical bills are a small portion of it, but if people are living from paycheck to paycheck and somebody gets hurt for a short period of time, a couple months, they're off work, and all of a sudden all these bills start rolling up. Now you have 2 months' worth of mortgage payments, 2 months' worth of car payments, and you're looking at $3,000 or $4,000 to get caught up on these things. A lot of people can't come up with that when you're living from paycheck to paycheck. So, the medical reasons are not just the problems that we have with the medical bills, which are in themselves a real problem, but also just the fact that right now a lot of people just budget month to month or week to week, and any little tiny thing that throws off that regular paycheck coming in can throw people in an absolute whirlpool of problems, and they get sucked down. And, creditors, the people who collect the debts, I'd like to say that they're all great people, and I'm sure a lot of them are, but they're very aggressive in collecting those debts.
Well, that's their job.
And,
that's why people need an attorney in this case, right?
That's exactly right.
All right,
Frank,
so when do you know you're at that point? You got some problems. Now there's, not that big of a stigma attached to it like there used to be. In wrapping it up, we got about a minute. How do you know when you're at that point and you need to move forward with you guys?
Well, what I would say is that if you basically are robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you are, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I wouldn't lend money to myself. If you're having to borrow money to pay for groceries, if if you are facing a foreclosure, if the bank's calling you to repossess your car, those are all really good indications that you're having financial problems.
Okay.
And you probably ought to come in and talk to somebody about getting some advice to help you out. Sometimes bankruptcy is the option, sometimes it's not. But it's important to go in and check first. It's kind of like, I have a rash on my arm. I better go talk to the doctor before it gets even worse.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do.
How do they get in touch with you? What's the best way, Jim?
Well, the best way would be to give us a call. We have an office over in St. Louis. It's 314-961-9822. And we also have an office over in Illinois as well, 618-236-7000. Or you can look us up, thebankruptcycompany.net. And again, we're a bankruptcy law firm. We file bankruptcies. We always offer a 1 hour, sometimes 2 hour, free consultation to have people come on in with no obligation, and we'll let them know what their rights are.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jim. Do appreciate
you,
it. We'll talk to you soon. Again,
okay.
Jim Haller, thebankruptcycompany.net. You can check that out at our website.